Welcome back at 7:23. Eating disorders affect 28.8 million Americans at some point in their lives. And Children's Hospital New Orleans has its own clinic to help especially young people combat this. During this National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, Dr. Diane Franz from Children's Hospital joins us with details on this resource clinic and all of the resources it offers. Good morning. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So just before we finished commercial break, you were telling me that this clinic opened in around November. What was the catalyst behind Children's opening this clinic?
So we saw a large increase in the incidence of eating disorders over the past year or two, but particularly during the pandemic. And we recognized there was such a need to treat children locally because up until that point, most children had to leave the state to receive intensive treatment for eating disorders.
And what did that look like before? I know a child that's dealing with an eating disorder, their family trying to help them through it, and then you add on the added layer of having to leave not only your city but your state for treatment. I would imagine that made the whole situation much more traumatic for everyone in some way, right?
Absolutely. I think the challenging part of doing that as a child or an adolescent is you leave your support system at home, you leave your school, you leave your activities, and you're often apart from your family during much of that treatment. So it's difficult to transition back, which is ultimately what we want children to be able to do.
So what does treatment look like here in New Orleans now that there is an outpatient clinic right there uptown that families can access?
So the program is based on a evidence-based model which really focuses on the family being the instrument of change for the teens and children, where children and families come to regular meetings in the clinic, receive lots of instruction, support on both the behavioral interventions and the psychological, as well as dietary and medical. So it's a very integrated team, and all of the work happens on a very regular basis, but all outpatient.
And like we've been saying, the fact that parents and families, they don't have to disrupt their whole lives to get this treatment is an absolute game changer. For families out there, and I know there are more than we probably could even imagine, who are dealing with eating disorders with their young children alone, how can they get more information? How can they get their children enrolled in this program if this is something that they think their child needs?
I think the first step is to contact our clinic, and we're providing that information, hopefully, the website and phone number. And the entry point to the clinic is through our clinical dietitian, who reviews all the symptoms and what's going on and basically develops a treatment plan. So if you have concerns, I think it's absolutely helpful to come in and talk with us. We can provide reassurance, guidance, kind of tell you next steps.
And last 30 seconds here, for parents who may not know what they're looking at, what's maybe one sign to look out for to know, okay, this is something I need to maybe look further into?
I think one of the most obvious signs are changes in kind of eating habits and focus on food, or more interest in food, a restrictive kind of pattern of eating, but also changes in interest, moods, kind of becoming withdrawn, less interested in your regular activities. All of those things are reasons for concern.
But you guys are right there uptown to help for families that do maybe see some of those warning signs.
Absolutely.
We appreciate your time so much, Dr.
Sure.
Franz. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.